Hey folks, CJ here, aka True Human. I just released a set of free wavetables based on single cycles of acoustic and electric instruments, both .wave and .wt file formats with 2048 samples per frame. Unlike most wavetables, these aren't meant to be scanned through over time. They're meant to be key tracked through, so each note gives you a different index in the wavetable frame. And the reason you'll want to do this is it helps you emulate the instrument the wavetable is based on. Now, of course, you could take these and treat them like reference cycles. Think of like the square wave, the saw wave, the tri, and the sinusoid. You know those bass sounds and then you modify and distort them. You can do the same thing here. Each instrument is something you know that you can modify and twist however you want. But again, the focus of this particular tutorial is to focus on emulating acoustic instruments. So let's start with that. So right now I'm in Bitwig. I have the Polymer synth open. And this is Bitwig's multi-engine synthesizer. I'm actually going to switch it to sawtooth mode really quickly and turn off all of the stuff I don't need. I don't need a sub. I don't need filter modulation. I don't need resonance. I don't need filter key tracking. And the reason I want to do this is I want you to see what this saw sounds like by itself as a reference before we switch to the wavetable. So I'll also switch to the silent key filter because I don't want to color the sound. I just want to control it, shape it. This is the sawtooth waveform as a pluck effectively. I'm going to open up the filter and then switch to a ADSR envelope that's more like a string. I'll turn the filter back down to get it into a realistic frequency range. And already we have something that sounds very string-like. It's not perfect, it's still obviously digital, but it's close. So now let's switch to a wavetable and see what difference we get. So wavetable engine, I'll go to my virtual orchestra folder and switch to the viola. Now before I close this, I want to point out I have instrument names followed by a set of semitones or a number of frames. And sometimes I have the instrument name followed by a specific note that's being tracked or measured in this wavetable. You can use this to set up your key tracking reference. That's why I mention it. So in the case of the viola, I have 46 frames or 46 semitones. I'll add in the key track modulator here, if I could spell key track. And I know that a viola has a range, well, it starts rather with a C3. I'm gonna hit C3, and I'm seeing that in the top right hand corner of the screen right now it's saying 260 hertz. C3 is actually around 130 hertz. So C3 in Bitwig is like C2 in scientific notation. I really want to be down here, and that's what I'm going to use as the reference for my key tracking. So we can see I'm going to start here. I'll turn off the horizontal or X snap because I don't need it. I'm going to switch the Y snap to just 2 so I have this central point to snap to. In Bitwig, key tracking modulator, going below the sensor gives you negative modulation, going above it gives you positive modulation. So I want everything below C2 to be at 0. Now, the reason I set these for semitones instead of particular keys is because you can actually go below whatever that instrument's natural range would be, and it'll still sound fine. But this is still very digital, so let's add the key tracking in, or finish it up rather. I mentioned I have 46 semitones, that's very close to 48. There's 12 semitones per octave. So 48 gives me 4 octaves. If I go 4 octaves above C2, that puts me at C6. So I'm going to max this out 100% at C6. But I want to aim for 46 instead of 48. So I'm going to subtract 2 from here. That takes me to a B5 and then finally an A sharp 5. All right. I apply the modulation over the full range of the index. So I'm starting with C3. And now you can can see it's already starting to sound more realistic because each note has its own character. The body of an instrument has different resonance behavior depending on the frequency that's exciting it. So we're getting that different behavior. Now to finish this off and make it a little more realistic, we need to add in something to give us a sense of space. So you can use a reverb or a delay. In this case, I'll just add in a delay. Switch it to a low delay time. Switch this to wide. So now we have something that's pretty close. That's solid. That is pretty close to a viola. The only other thing I would add to this is, let's see, we can do like a chorus. And so now we have a string ensemble. Now this chorus by default doesn't really work, so we modulate it a little bit. I'm just going to kind of play around. Sounds a little hollow. I'm actually going to turn off the indexing really quickly. It sounds great in solo, but for the chorus, I think keeping it soloed or on a single index sounds a little cleaner. And there you have it. So have fun, experiment, let me know what you think.